All right, today we are taking to the skies. We're going to be looking at two totally different stories about flying, about facing your fears, and ultimately about survival. We've got a young bird who's terrified to even leave his perch, and then we have this experienced pilot who decides to fly straight into the storm of his life. Okay, let's get into it. This really says it all, doesn't it? The dream of flying. It feels like it's baked into our DNA. It's this ultimate symbol of freedom, of going beyond what we think is possible. But what happens when that dream becomes an absolute nightmare? Well, that's exactly what we're going to explore. So here's our flight plan. First, we'll meet our two main characters. We'll see what's keeping them grounded, and then watch that critical moment where there's no turning back. We're going to fly right into the darkness with them, see how they're rescued in very different ways, and then compare how their journeys end. Let's get this thing off the ground. Okay, so we're looking at two classic tales right next to each other. First up is His First Flight by Liam O'Flaherty, which is all about a young seagull. And on the other hand, we've got The Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth, about a pilot trying to get home to England. Two very, very different flyers about to face a challenge that will test them to their core. So let's talk about what's keeping these two from their destination. Before their journeys even really begin, they're both completely, utterly stuck. One is trapped by his own fear, and the other, well, he's trapped by a choice he's about to make. So first, let's meet our young seagull. Picture this. He's all by himself on this rocky ledge. His brother, his sister, his whole family, they've already flown away. But him? He is just frozen. He's absolutely convinced his wings won't work, that he'll just fall into that huge, scary sea below. He just can't do it. And then you have our pilot, and he's the total opposite. He's just cruising along in his old Dakota plane, flying over a sleeping France on this beautiful, clear night. He's happy, he's feeling good, and he's just dreaming about getting home to his family and having a big English breakfast. To him, the sky isn't scary at all. It's like a peaceful, empty highway. I mean, the contrast is just night and day, isn't it? For the seagull, the air is this terrifying, empty space that goes down for miles. But for the pilot, that very same sky is this gorgeous, starry, safe place. It just goes to show you how much your own perspective can totally change your world. Every great story has one of these moments, the point of no return, that instant where you're all in, whether you like it or not. For our seagull and our pilot, this is where their journeys really, truly begin. So for the seagull, what finally gets him to move isn't courage. Oh no, it's just pure, desperate hunger. He's starving, and his mother, in this brilliant kind of tough love move, flies near him with a fish in her beak and then just stops, right out of reach. He's so maddened by the sight of the food, he just dives for it and tumbles right off the ledge. Now the pilot's moment? Completely different. It is a conscious, deliberate choice. He sees these huge storm clouds ahead, describes them like black mountains. He knows he should probably go back, but that urge to get home for breakfast is just too strong. He actually thinks to himself, I'll take the risk, and flies his plane straight into that wall of darkness. And that's really the question at the heart of all this, isn't it? One of them gets pushed, the other one jumps. But either way, they are both in a free fall, heading into a total unknown. What on earth is going to save them now? Okay, so they're in it now. Both have been plunged into this world of chaos and darkness. They are completely, totally, and utterly lost. For the seagull, the second he starts falling, he's just hit with this wave of pure, monstrous terror. He's just tumbling down, down, down into nothing. And for the pilot, it's the exact same experience. The second he enters that storm, boom, instant blackness. He can't see a single thing outside his plane. The seagull's fear is so overwhelming that his senses literally just shut down. His heart stops beating, he can't hear anything. It's the ultimate moment of pure panic. And for the pilot, it's his technology that completely betrays him. The compass just spins and spins. His radio is dead. Everything he was trained to rely on is gone. He is just as blind and helpless as that little bird. So, there they are, both lost in the abyss. How do they get out? Well, this is where their paths split in a really, really fascinating way. One of them finds the answer inside himself, and the other finds it from somewhere else entirely. The seagull's rescue is amazing because it's not even a choice. It's just pure, raw instinct. As he's falling, his wings just open up on their own. The wind catches them, and suddenly that terrifying fall turns into a soaring flight. The ability was inside him the entire time, just buried deep underneath all that fear. He was born for this. The pilot's rescue is the complete opposite. It comes from the outside. Out of nowhere, in the middle of this dark storm, another plane just appears. It doesn't have any lights on, but he can see the other pilot, who waves at him and signals for him to follow. A mysterious guide just shows up in the heart of the storm. You know, that word black is doing a lot of work in this story. The black clouds, the black airplane. It's not just about the color, it's symbolic. It represents being in a situation with no light to guide you, a future that feels like it has no hope. The pilot is literally flying through his own despair. So, both of them make it through. They both land safely. But the way their stories end, wow, they could not be more different. One finds clear answers and community. The other finds safety, sure, but he's left with an even deeper mystery than before. The seagull lands on the water, totally exhausted, but he did it, and his family surrounds him, cheering and praising him and giving him food. He's found his place. He's one of them now. The pilot, on the other hand, lands safely, and he turns around to thank the guy who saved him, but the sky is completely empty. The black airplane is just gone. And this is the final twist. The pilot asks the woman in the control tower about the other plane that helped him. And she just looks at him kind of strangely and says there were no other planes up there. Not in that storm. His was the only one on the radar. His rescuer was impossible. So that's what we're left with. The seagull's story is about conquering a fear that's inside you and finding a strength you never knew you had. The pilot's story is about being saved by some mysterious, unexplainable force when all hope seems lost. So, which one feels more real to you? Is survival something we earn from within, or is it something that sometimes just finds us in the dark? It's something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this one.